Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. This is week 19 of the coin journey. So this last week, I've really been diving in a little bit more. It's kind of distracting. It's like the most beautiful. I don't know if you can see that view. It's like the most beautiful view ever. Anyway, so I've been thinking a lot more about this, my body, my friend. You know, what does my friend want to eat? What does my friend want to do? What does my friend need? You know, my body, my friend. So really diving into this concept of my body, my friend, and applying that and figuring out how that applies. In the meantime, God has really done something very, very cool with my relationship with food. So, I've never talked about like the eating method that him and I have worked on. I've never talked about that because like every different kind of program that deals with body insecurity and food relationship, it's always about like the solutions in the way you eat, and this really hasn't been. This has been a purely divine experience. But so, I went to him, he gave me some very basic parameters, and it's been more of a tool of revelation. So in thinking about like my body, my friend, I'm thinking, what does my body really want? Like if my body was my friend, what do you want? Like, what do you want to eat? What do you want to do? What do you feel like today? Just being really curious about it. And so with the method that he has given, and then just some things that have kind of happened supernaturally inside of me, I'm really feeling like my food and eating has kind of like gotten into a good place. And there's a lot of joy in eating. I feel very happy with the food that I'm eating. I feel grateful. I feel free. Like, it's hard to describe. I don't have self-loathing when I eat anymore. Like with the foods that I'm eating and the method that he gave me, which is really simple and doable. I feel happy and content. I feel very content and very satisfied and very grateful and joyful about the way that I'm eating, to the point where, and I think he's starting to remove the idol of thinness, because like I'm eating in a good way. Like I feel good and it's not hard. It's just good, and I'm being curious about it, and I'm asking my body, like, are you hungry right now? Sure, my brain and my mouth say they want something to eat, but do you want to eat right now? And a lot of times it's like, no, I'm thirsty. And I'm like, all right, body, well, here's some water. So tuning into my body. But what was I going to say? I was on a track for something. So that's what it was. So with this being dialed in, and God possibly removing the idol of thinness, like if I'm eating like this and I'm thick like this, then maybe this is the way my body should be. Like this is how I was designed. The only other thing I can think of is like, I definitely need to start, discovering and being curious about an exercise movement that I would do each day for 30 minutes to an hour. Like I definitely need work in that area. But like last night I was reading this book called Fiber Fueled, and it kept referring to like, oh, but they lost a lot of weight doing this, and they lost a lot of weight doing this. And before those words, I would be like, oh, that's exactly what I want. But it's like, I'm not really driven by that now. I'm driven more like, how is this healthy for my body? How can I be good to my body? Like, how can I like show gratitude to my body, put it in action and be good to it? And, eat in a way and exercise in a way that I'm really great showing gratitude for the body that I'm given, and I'm not so critical of it. So if I, eat like I'm eating, and then I start exercising like and I don't lose a lot of weight, well, then maybe I'm just supposed to look like this, you know? As long as my body is healthy and I'm what is it they say with money? Being a good steward of your money. If I'm being a good steward of my body and then my body looks like this, then maybe that's just who I am. So I think I have a sneaking suspicion that God is, through the fasting, because I have talked about, how I'm fasting on Sundays. I didn't do a great job during the holidays because there was a lot of people around and stuff. And when you fast and you're like, no, I'm not eating, they're like, oh, why? And you're like, so I just be like, screw it, I'm just going to eat. So I don't have to have this conversation, and be like, look at me, I'm fasting, because you don't want to do that. But yeah, so I'm really excited and I'm really grateful, and I'm doing this freedom course. And, one thing they said in the freedom course that I loved was, when I fall into temptation, it has look more, when I fall into temptation, that's more telling of the quality of relationship I have with the Lord than my self-discipline. So when I fall into temptation with emotional dependency with food and idol worship of being thin, the first place for me to look isn't like, I'm a bad person and I can't believe I did this. My first place is going, okay, Lord, I'm really disconnected with you. I don't know how to trust you with my deep stuff. I don't know how to trust, your children, because they hurt sometimes when I tell them stuff, they hurt, and the way they respond, and it makes me want to draw back, Lord. Going to him and understanding that quality of relationship with him and his community and my community is what needs to be dealt with. It's not necessarily my self-discipline. So, because I have a lot of discipline in a lot of other ways. So anyway, that's where I am this week. Still trying to keep it around 5 minutes. Not doing a great job. But anyway, I hope you are blessed with this week. And I'll see you next week, Lord willing.